All right, everyone, we are here with the last war of the season against Savage Squad SSX. Now, I'm going to take a moment to shout out the entire alliance of SSX. They are my old home before New Nation, and they've been really showing out this season, successfully upsetting quite a few alliances to be in the top 5. I believe they are 4 overall. And this win against us for them would put For Loki at second and them at third. So it'd be their first ever top 3 performance. So I don't want to sugarcoat this at all. This is a pretty serious war, a pretty exciting war, a pretty high pressure war. And it's somewhat unfortunate that it came down to the two of us matching, because I would have preferred someone else. But at least if one of us loses, the other is definitely top 3. So that being said, we'll go right into our video. This war I'll be taking in Human Torch, Silver Centurion, and Mr. Negative. I'm taking node 20 in section 1. I have a middle mini boss. I have the shared fight into 1 through 3, and then I am on path 1. So pretty small war for me this war. You guys have seen me take this Manthing, so straight up just a repeat of the gameplay. We are going to parry, reparry heavy. That should give us a total of 4 light energy, and that fury buff will turn into light energy with a total of 2 hits. And then parry, medium, light, light. That'll put us at 5 hits with a total of what should be 7. Yep, 7 light energy. And then we'll evade counter there for a 6th hit and banking that light energy. And then we will do parry, medium, light, and that'll put us at 4 light energy, and it should trigger an armor up in which we look for the unstoppable. And we will probably have gone through 1 special attack with Manthing and dealt with 1 global armor up at that point. And when I see the all clear from that point, we'll evade counter into SP2 as long as unstoppable doesn't get triggered from unfazed. So all of that you should see here. There's the 10th hit. Going to evade counter at a distance. So I waited for him to come in before I held heavy instead of block baiting 1, and then I threw the SP2. Now here it's just play kind of slow. I am going to get caught dashing back there. Quite unfortunate. And then the degen didn't knock him out, so probably either didn't have willpower or had a boost in health from masteries, but we managed to solo the fight anyways. Just a little extra there at the end. Next up, Mangog here on Mix Master with Nova Flame. This is probably my sloppiest fight, and you're going to see why. Anyways, we're just going to reboost on some of the shorter boosts here. I'm trying to avoid using units to get any more boosts, any war boosts for the 10k unit deal from 7.4. So game plan here was to parry medium, light, medium until he gets to 1 bar of power. Then I'm going to parry medium, light, and hold block to bait heavies to prevent him from throwing SP1. And my original idea when I was doing this was that I was just going to block SP2. And then when I got to the point that he was about at SP2, I looked up and realized I actually wasn't doing as much damage as I would like, probably because none of the power stings were activating since he's not throwing a special attack. So here I decided to start baiting out, and I didn't notice he went to SP2. We ended up eating it. Woohoo! So kind of caught me off guard, kind of got me a little bit nervous, but I just calmed down and was like, all right, let's just focus. This is fine. It's your only Human Torch fight. Don't push him to SP2 again. So we push him to SP1 and bait that out. And this will melt him to the end. So a little hiccup on my part, but we survived. Part of it might have been from dexing the first hit of that SP2. Probably would have been more damage and closer to assassin range. Anyways, Silver Centurion was brought for this kitty Pryde, and I actually had to think about how I would play this. And what I decided was that 2 parries leading to her SP1 would be fine, so that we can limit the number of bubble shield hits between that and her SP1. So I actually didn't realize that I triggered parry that first time, but it's fine. We intercept here, so it still counts as 2 on the bubble shield. And then we're trying to bait out this SP1, and she just will not throw it. But what you're going to see the game plan is to dodge the kick, block 2 hits, and then dash out. And I'm being very mindful at this point about where my bubble shield is at so that we don't accidentally take an unblockable SB1 and end up melting to death from Incinerate. So I'm really forcefully pushing her to SB1, baiting it out. And you're going to see here pretty soon, I believe it's after this next SB1, that I'm going to intentionally just parry, back off, parry, and then trigger bubble shield right here. And that was originally, or that was a blocked hit, so not a parry, but still worked out the same. And now that we have a new set of 10 hits, we are on to the next rotation. So this fight actually works out a lot better than I thought it would. Thought for sure I was going to mess up the SB1 and end up with Incinerate on me. But turns out to be a great counter. Now, since I had this team, the only logical path we saw to send me this way was path 1. And this Immortal Hulk took forever, unfortunately. He was being very passive with special attacks, which was unfortunate. But I mean, the whole game plan with Silver Centurion was that I was just going to build up the plasmas and throw SB1 for the heal block, and then should just be fine. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the game plan. So what you'll see is just a really long fight of that, and sometimes me not getting the heal block on at the right time. So he heals back just a little bit. But yeah, it was just an Immortal Hulk fight with Silver Centurion. So nothing too special. You could shoehorn Silver Centurion here, but not if you're trying to, win on fight time, which hopefully no one is. But yeah, it was kind of a pain. It went a little bit fast there for 30 seconds, but now he's just not wanting to throw it. And there's the clip. Apparently did not get out of range. And that, I'm actually comfortable dodging his SP2, but when you take 2 hits like that and your invulnerability boost partially disappears, you tend to not be as confident. You just start blocking it instead. So the rest of the fight, I'm going to definitely try to push him to SB1, but as you can see, he's just not wanting to throw it. And you're going to notice sometimes the heal block is passive and not an active buff. It doesn't really matter which one gets placed. But if you see a passive heal block, it's because there is an active regen buff on iHulk. So there's a regular heal block debuff, and earlier you saw a passive one. But yeah, hopefully, the hope was that you would melt him a bit faster than this, but he's just a chunky boy, so slow rolling. I think I'm just gonna leave this for you guys to finish watching, and then we'll check back in on the next fight. And then we're coming up on the end here, so I'm back. and down he goes. So, long fight. For some reason, we have 5 minutes and 30-second timers, so that took 3.5 minutes. Moving on. Had to wait for energy, so boost fell off. This is fine. This is technically only the second time boosting up when it comes to big boy boost. But I'm taking this Hercules on buffet. And again, it's just another kind of like shoehorn of what I have, taking a path. Mr. Negative is fine here. They're just things you're going to want to look out with. And it would be the same with anyone against Herc unless you were dealing with a nullify or buff prevention champ. So I decide to play this like normal Mr. Negative, except I don't do it with a PS1. I'm very mindful of the fact that he may go immortal and unblockable, and I want that invulnerability boost. But I'm playing him without knocking him down. I'm building my light energy through parry and dex when I'm trying to bait out dex. It looks like he's not going to throw this SP1, so I decide to bank these light energy here. And then I don't retaliate. I just want him to throw this SP1. He finally does. So now we're up to building more light and building the SP2. I'm going to bait out this SP1, and then I'm going to wait for this infuriate buff or debuff to disappear. Because I didn't want it affecting any of the degen buffs that I place. So now that that's gone, we drop the SP2 and he just kind of melts away here. He is going to stop shy, I think, within assassin range, so it's fine. I did max assassin here, and now he's immortal. So unfortunately, assassin didn't prevent him from going into that, but now I'm just being mindful, trying not to take any hits, and I'm just waiting patiently, and now I hit into his block to knock him out. So that ended my war. Pretty chill war for the season. Our battle group lost to their battle group 2-1, which is pretty disappointing, especially when you look at it as a whole, whereas we lost this war 4-6. So pretty bittersweet for me. Get knocked out of the top 3 with this loss. Which is really unfortunate with the season we've had. But the sweet part of it is that my old alliance has improved well enough to place the top 3 for the first time ever, I think. On top of that, 4 Loki moved up into the top 3 with our loss. So shout out to all the guys I know in SSX and 4 Loki. Congrats on an awesome season, placing top 3. Hopefully New Nation can clean it up and not have the bad wars when it matters the most. But hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys enjoyed the season. Like, subscribe, share, follow, and I will see you guys at the next one.